Alright, let's do it. These are my reactions to the conferences. I'm going to be doing a video for each one, and first is Microsoft. So, I had my notes up here, I'm going to be looking up quite a bit. So first of all, they opened with Halo Guardians, which I thought was quite surprising because, yeah, you want to start strong, but something as big as this, it seems like something you want to save till last. But they did, and I mean, it looks. I mean, they showed some gameplay at last, and it looks like Halo on next gen on the current gen console, really. So nothing really surprising there. As I said before, I kind of got bored with Halo, so it didn't really do anything for me. But I'm sure if you're a fan, it was awesome. So that's pretty cool. Some story was mentioned. I heard like Arbiter was mentioned, which did get me quite excited. Actually, it would be cool if he returns. Um, let's see, and then the demo finished, and yeah, then they talked about the campaign a bit, and it turns out like you'll be able to control the new protagonist and Master Chief like in co-op, and that sounds pretty promising because like in the demo they saw, you were controlling the other protagonist and Master Chief wasn't there as far as I could tell. So that mean that'll be like you'll be controlling two different characters in completely different areas. Like that sounds really promising. Like kind of sounds like that sounds really next gen. But they could meet up eventually and you're just controlling them like usual. And then they talked about multiplayer. It could be they said there's going to be AI in it at last, which there has been. I don't know why I thought that was a new thing, but I guess. There's a new map called Warzone, which didn't really like anything new, like stuff we've seen in other multiplayer, like their objectives and stuff. So yeah, pretty cool, but nothing too good. Right, and then after that there was a new IP from people who made Metroid Prime, which I've never actually played, so that didn't really mean anything to me. The game looked pretty good. Like you saw a woman and a robot in the desert, and I don't know, didn't really look like anything special. I don't think you saw any gameplay unless that when she was fighting those robots, that was gameplay, which would be pretty impressive. But I don't know. I guess I gotta wait to see more before I get too excited. Um, right then, Phil Spencer finally came on, and dropped a pretty big bombshell, which probably was my favourite part of the conference. He announced the Xbox 360 games are backwards. Well, sorry, the Xbox One is backwards compatible with Xbox 360 games, and it seems that how it works will be, you put your 360 disc in, and then you'll download, and you have a digital copy on your Xbox One, which is very cool. I mean, that is pretty enticing to get an Xbox One. The only thing is, oh yeah, and you can play multiplayer with Xbox 360 players, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the only thing is, yeah, I mean, the current gen consoles are pretty small as it is. I mean, I'm already struggling with my PS4 fitting space on it. So, and when you download all your 360 games, that's going to take up space really quickly. I was quite surprised they didn't. I mean, they do have their 1 terabyte Xbox One now coming out. I was surprised they didn't mention that. It could have been like, yeah, this will take up space quickly, but remember our 1 terabyte Xbox One? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But yeah, but it should be good. Yeah, then they announced the new Xbox One controller, which sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's customizable. Well, I mean, it looks the same as the other one, really, but customizable. So if you're looking for that, that's pretty cool. Right, and then Bethesda came out and talked about Fallout 4. Now, I had yet to see the Bethesda conference, and I've still yet to see it. So this was actually my first time seeing Fallout 4, apart from the trailer they released. And it looks pretty good. I mean, the story sounds interesting. It's like you're controlling someone who was forced from their home went into a vault and somehow emerged 200 years later. So that's what it sounded like. Like, has he been frozen for all that time or something? But anyway, yeah. So then then I said like your Pip Boy could be on a smartphone, which that sounds pretty fun. Could be like a good quirk there. And then you showed him going home to like seeing his robot was still there. That must have been there like 200 years ago. Well, that's quite cool. And I showed how the dialogue works. Like when you talk, he has dialogue options and he actually talks. Kind of like The Witcher or Mass Effect, especially. Which is pretty cool. And then he meets the infamous dog that you see from the cutscene. It all looks pretty good. I mean, not blown away by it yet, as I've already said, but maybe I've just got to watch. Yeah, well, everyone's going mad from when it was shown at Bethesda's conference, and maybe I've got to watch that. And then they showed some exclusive stuff for Fallout on Xbox One. They had the Fallout, you get Fallout 3 with it, and mods that are on PC you can get on Xbox One, so that's going to entice some people. But so, what was next? I am Peter Moore from EA announced some EA Access stuff, and and then said Titanfall was going to be on EA Access, which I think is kind of pointless, really. I mean, it's kind of like when Halo 3 was announced for Xbox 360 on Games for Gold. It's like, it's what most people bought the console for, so it's not really much point, like the same way most people bought 360 for Halo 3. So, kind of redundant, I think. But then Dragon Age Inquisition, so that's pretty cool. And then, what was next? Oh, and then, I guess a way to rope in new people to get EA access, they announced people are going to have it free for a week, so there you go. And Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2, which I'm not really into that, so that didn't really mean anything for me. Right then another exclusive Forza 6, which I mean, there's a new Forza every year, isn't there? So nothing really surprising there. And I'm not really into racing games anyway. And then I lowered the car onto a stage, which was ridiculous. And then, Dark Souls 3. Now, I don't know if this was known about before. I didn't know about it. This was my first time seeing it. I mean, I had a feeling, first it said From Software and then Only Embers Remain. I was like, oh yeah, I know what this is. And then, oh man, when you saw that giant with the axe, is like, is this the kind of scale we're going to be seeing for bosses with this game? That would be damn cool. But, I mean, it's a multi-pack game, so I don't know, kind of redundant showing multi-pack games. I think conference just shows you they don't really have enough. Sure, there are a lot over this conference, so which was pretty disappointing. But what's next? Oh yeah, the Division, which is kind of redundant for me. I mean, I couldn't be more excited for the Division when they showed it. At the I think it was 2013 Ubisoft first revealed it. I mean, that got me excited enough. Like, you don't really need to show me anymore. So, there you go. But they did, and it looks pretty cool. And then more Rainbow Six Siege footage, which the same, when they first showed it last year, looks pretty cool. Can't really show me anymore to get me more excited. Oh yes, but they did say Xbox One players gets Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2, which is pretty cool. Although I don't know if any other Rainbow Six games are on 360, because I think they should have probably add some older ones free with it, because as far as I can tell, people aren't, hardcore fans aren't that happy with the Vegas series. But so yeah, that's pretty cool still. And I was pretty surprised with the release date. I mean, it said available 13th, October 13th, 2015, which I think that means its release day, which would mean it comes out before The Division, and it was shown after The Division, which I just found out pretty surprising. And then an Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive, which doesn't really do much. Doesn't make me want to buy an Xbox One if it's going to be for Windows 10. It looked pretty cool. Quirky, free to play shooter. Nothing really special, but. And then they got to the indie games. Got India Xbox segment, if you like. Idea Xbox. I don't know what I'm talking about now. So the Gone Home devs came out, and I've never actually got a chance to play Gone Home, but I would like to. It does look pretty intriguing, but yeah, it's never. I think I'd like to be on a pretty big discount before I get it, but it does look pretty good. And so they announced a new game. Yeah, Tomoko looks pretty good. It's going to be first on Xbox One and PC, so not exclusive. So yeah, not really enticing. And then a game called Ashen, which I thought they were describing DayZ at first. I mean, they say that it's just you, and you have to figure out who's against you, who's with you. Wasn't sure if they were talking about online or offline, if their NPCs are real people, but either way, it does sound good. And they said it's an exclusive, so that is pretty enticing, I gotta say. Then Beyond Eyes, which I do like the sound of, so like it's a blind girl and you're seeing the world like through her other senses. That's something quite new. Quite sounds like it'd be quite emotional, so I think I like it. Not exclusive, but first on Xbox One and PC. And then a game called Cuphead, which looks like, as they said, they wanted it to look like a 1930s cartoon, and it certainly does. Looks like it could be fun, and it's an exclusive, so there you go. That's pretty cool. Right, and then Xbox One preview. That it's like early access on Xbox, which sounds pretty cool. And they said you get every game you get to have a free trial before you actually buy the game, which I think is a really good idea. Right, and then the DayZ dev came on and announced a new game, which, as far as I can tell, DayZ is far from finished. So what the hell is he doing working on a new game? I think that's quite cheeky of him, to be honest. But it's called Iron. It looks pretty good actually. Right, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I've never been a huge Tomb Raider fan. I did get the reboot. Actually, I wasn't that blown away with it. I never actually finished it. It was pretty good. I did like the story, but didn't really do much. And Rise of the Tomb Raider actually does look pretty epic. And then Rare came out with a collection. I've never played any of those games, so that didn't really do much for me. And then they announced, and then an exclusive game which I actually did like the look of. What was it called? Sea of Thieves, where it's like an online game. I think it looked pretty good. It's like you're all doing your own thing. Like you'll have a role on a pirate ship, like driving it and shooting, and yeah, I think it could be pretty good. I think it could be fun. And what was next? Oh yeah, this was pretty disappointing. Another Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. Well, if you can call it exclusive. Fable Legends. Now, as I've said before, Microsoft can't really be trusted when it comes to third-party exclusives. But now that turns out it's same issue with the first-party exclusives. Because when they announced it at E3 last year, I thought, they made out it was only going to be an Xbox One exclusive, but now it's going to be on Windows 10. And as I also said, it was, it would have enticed me to buy an Xbox One, but now it's on Windows 10. There goes that. So, but at least it's going to be on Windows 10, so I'll still get to play it. So, there's that. But yeah. And Xbox One players can play with Windows 10 players, which is pretty cool. Right. Oh, and then they got to VR. There was a lot said here. I mean, turns out they've got their claws into Oculus Rift. Apparently, you get an Xbox One controller of each one. So, I guess they're taking over there. And it turns out that's what they're going to use to stream Xbox One games to Windows 10. So, which is kind of sucks. They have to buy something. I mean, it's probably going to be pretty expensive to just do that. I mean, probably not worth the investment, I don't think. And then HoloLens, which they demonstrated with Minecraft, which actually looks pretty cool, but I mean it's a big investment again. But Minecraft's probably not the game you want to be looking at, in HoloLens. But I mean, there's potential there, I reckon. Be interesting to see what it does with other games. Right, and then finally, they showed a new Gears of War. Well, actually, they talked about the Gears of War remaster, which they didn't show any gameplay, which was pretty disappointing. Um, and there's a beta for it, so that's pretty cool. And then a new Gears of War game, which I mean, I said I'm bored with Halo, but I don't think I'm bored with Gears of War yet. It looks pretty epic, especially with like that storm in the background, and it's pretty enticing. I mean, it might convince me to get an Xbox One. Um, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, no new characters. I mean, I didn't play. I guess that wouldn't make sense to have a game after Gears of War 3, so it's probably a prequel. Or I actually never played Gears of War Judgment, so it might be carrying after that. So, but yeah, it does look pretty damn good, I gotta say. So, yeah, and then that was about it. And Phil Spencer came out and pretty much lied. He said Fable Legends you can only get on Xbox One, but among others. So I thought that was pretty cheeky of him. And then he said Quantum Break and Scalebound will be at Gamescom, which I mean, I'm alright. I guess I'll wrap it up now. It's like I wasn't that excited overall. I mean, Phil Spencer said he was going to focus on exclusives, and there are way too many third party and no surprises at all. But if he and that they talked about Scalebound or Quantum Break, that would have mixed it up, made it more exciting. But overall, way less exciting than last year. Like too predictable, not enough exclusives. So yeah, so that's about it. Right. I think for now I'm going to watch the Bethesda conference. But next up would be, and then I'll be doing EA, Ubisoft, Sony, and then Bethesda. So, see you then.